And because this is for a young baby, a young child, I'm just going to do this as um, 12 inches long in length. Okay, so I need 22 inches. So that is, oh, let me do it the other way, an easier way. Okay, here's my 12-inch ruler. Okay, save me some trouble, just doing it twice. Okay, so I know from here, I'm just going to hold my finger here, to all the way to the end. This is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, this is 21 inches long. I'm going to, nope, you can't go short. You got to have a piece that is, yeah, you can actually. We're going to do this 22 inches long. So, usually this comes from a piece of fabric that is 44 inches wide. And I know I need to go up by 12 inches because I want it 12 inches long, but I need a piece to attach to the front of the bodice and to the back that is 22 inches long. So this is where I'm going to do my cutting. I just need 12 inches. What did I do with my pencil? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I need 12 inches. I'm just gonna make some little marks on the fabric because you won't see this anyway. Um, let me think for a minute. Yeah, okay, 12 inches. So it's easy with fabric if you just kind of measure it, make little points along the way where you know you're going to cut at the 12-inch mark. Or you could just fold the fabric in half and cut it. But it's just going to be a little bit easier. I know it's kind of hard for you to maybe see this on this fabric, but you'll see. And this is actually a 44 inches wide piece of fabric. So when it's folded in half, it is 22 inches. So that won't be a problem. Now, if you are using, making a different size pattern, obviously, you need to make sure you cut it the right length and width. So I'm just going to follow these lines that I've cut along here. Okay, and put this out of the way. Okay, now you have your 22-inch piece of fabric. It's actually got a fold line, so I'm going to cut the fold, cut right down this fold. And trust me, there are other ways to create this type of dress. This just happens to be the way I do it with this particular pattern. So if you're watching this video, you'll see that it works. Okay, we now have our 22-inch piece, and we need to attach this to the bodice piece so that it looks really, really pretty and really, really ruffly. Like, here's a dress that I had finished earlier. Same pattern, same size, and I'll show you how to get all this pretty ruffly part. And you can actually see this dress is unfinished, so you have that rough edge, whereas if I had used this piece, it would be totally finished. Okay? So let me set this aside, and show you the next step. You've got your piece cut, okay? So what you want to do is you just want to make a basting stitch all the way down, okay? I'll show you, I'll do that and come back and show you what we're going to do next. So hopefully you can see this, but I have a very straight, well, not very straight, but I have a straight basting stitch. And a basting stitch is just a stitch that's a little bit wider than your normal stitch. And you want to do that because it allows you to put a little bit of a ruffle into the dress, the item that you're creating. And you'll notice you have two threads at the end of your stitch here. And all you want to do is just pull ever so slightly. Just hold it with one hand and just pull. Just pull. You're just pulling and pushing the fabric down gently. Now, this looks hard, but it's really not. And if the thread breaks or something, you know what? Just start over. just do it again. Just run another stitch in there. It's not that big of a deal. Trust me on this. And just keep pulling. You hold and you just pull till you get all the way to the end. And I know you're saying, well, how much ruffle should it be? How will I know if it's too ruffly? Well, I'm going to show you. Just hang tight. So I'm going to get all the way to my end here. Okay. And it doesn't matter so much right now how this part is. Because now what you're going to do, take your bodice piece. I'll start with the front piece of the bodice. Just take it. Okay? And we're going to work on, because you got to put the right sides together. Now, what I do, let me see if I can do this way. Okay. Here's your bodice. Sorry about that. And here is the skirt part. All right. Now, I start by pinning, wait, pin that, and then it goes down. Yeah. Pinning one edge, pin the edges together. And then that way, you'll know where you're going. And then I actually start to open it up just a wee little bit. Just a little bit. We're not ready to finish up with our ruffles just yet. Our little frilly front piece here. And as I've started going to the stores, you know, looking at examples of children's clothes, I noticed that a lot of the children's clothing is made very, very, very similar. As you notice, I kind of messed up here. And I have the selvage edge. And I'm just going to cut it off. Yes, I know it's just, I'm cutting crooked and I shouldn't do it like this. But we want to take that piece off. So then we're just going to pin to the edge. Because you need to kind of know what your limitations are in terms of when you're going to stitch straight down. So now what you want to do, you're just going to neaten this up. Just neaten it up as you go along. Neat, neat, neat. Just keep it neat. Keep it straight. Look at your little ruffles or your little pleats. Whatever you want to call them. Ruffles, pleats, whatever. As once again, like I said, I'm not the sewing professional you might think I am. But I can pretty much craft something and figure out how it's put together and show other people, and you'll end up with a pretty decent looking product. Okay, so now I've got it all nice and neat where I want everything to go, and then I'm gonna pin this down so it doesn't scoot around while I'm sewing, and I'm going to make a simple straight stitch. And you might still want to keep a basting stitch going in case it's not exactly how you would like it to be. Then you can just pull that stitch out and do it over. And I find, you know, if you do have to pull stitches out, I sit and wait and do that when I'm watching TV, and keeps you busy, then you don't rush, and then you don't make even more of a mess. But just make sure, just take your time, have it pinned really, really well, and it's going to come out really, really pretty. I promise you that. Okay? And you'll be able to use this technique on pretty much any dress you make in this same style. Okay? So let me go take it over to the sewing machine. Okay. As you can see, we've taken all the pins out. Okay? So this is just one side of the dress. Now we're going to open it up and I'll show you what you got. Ooh, pretty. So see? That's the beginnings of your dress. You're almost done. Now you just got to attach the back and stitch up the side. Okay, you've attached the skirt piece to the front bodice. So, oops, sorry. So you have the front piece taken care of. So now you're going to attach the bodice piece to the back. And it's really important because remember, in this particular dress, you're going to add a little snap to just keep it for the enclosure. So, what you want to do, on the wrong side, obviously, you make sure you pin your back piece together. Just pin it for now, because when you put the buttons on or the snaps, it'll be fine. But make sure your armholes line up nice and evenly. And then just once again, repeat the same process in attaching your skirt, the bottom piece, to the bodice, to the top part. Okay, and just to be clear, you want to make sure you pin the right sides together like this. You have your pink there, your back enclosures here, and you're going to stitch right along here, and that'll make your that'll help you. Then you'll be finished with the back of the dress. So just stitch directly along there, and remember, make sure you get it on the right side. Okay, I wanted to show you this part, that once you have your front and back piece, the skirt part attached, you want to make sure you line up at the underarm point, and then make sure you flatten out that hem, that point that you stitched. Okay, you want to flatten this out so it won't be bulky on the dress part. So just going to stick that through, and then we're going to stitch all the way down the side of the dress. Okay, ta-da! Here we are. You're almost done. You have the front, you did the bodice, you did the skirt part. Let's flip it over. Here's the back. And you're going to put a little button here. I have another video for you on how to do a snap, a little snap button in the back. And that is pretty much almost all there is to it. Now you want to go back through your sewing and double check for any loose threads, anything that might be showing, and just clip those off, and you are good to go. And you've made an adorable little dress. I'm going to do a different little portion for you on how to do the hem. You can do either a rolled hem, you can do a rolled hem, you can do a ruffle. There's a lot of things you could do. Now, for the inside of the dress, this edging, the parts that you have in here, this seam, what you want to do is go all the way around and maybe do like a little zigzag stitch, and also trim a lot of this excess, these little threads that are hanging, so your finished product will look much more professional. And remember, practice makes perfect. You might not get it right the first time, but just take the stitches out, relax. I would say start with some plain practice fabric, some muslin or broadcloth, and just keep it simple. You know, get a good practice, especially if you're making bridesmaids dresses or special little party dresses, and you spend a lot of money on fabric and you don't want to, you know, mess it up. So practice first, make a little dress, and have fun. Most of all, do have fun with this. Thanks for watching. Bye.